This exercise is called the continuous low lateral squats. Now, as you can see here, a 1 rep is basically a continuous circle of deep knee flexion, deep hip flexion, and ankle flexion. One thing I want to point out first before we get into the details is I don't want you to look at me doing it and see how low I can go and assume that I expect you to go that low. Some of you will be able, you have that hip, ankle, knee mobility, and some of you don't. So looking at me, you're going to do the same thing, but if you need to modify, you simply just will do like half the distance I'm doing if you cannot get, that below parallel. So this is one of those moves you do need to modify to your hip mobility, because let's say you attempt to get as low as me, but then you're bending forward at the waist and your chest is pointing towards the ground. We don't want that, okay? So if you are my client, make sure that you send me a video of you doing this exercise from the front so we can look at your stance and just improve on anything we might need to improve on there. So the stance is going to be what is called a sumo stance, meaning your knees and your feet are much wider than the hip width, and your toes will be pointed out about, anywhere from 30 to 40 degrees outward. They're not going to be pointed forward. And this whole movement starts with a lateral squat. So you want your both feet to be flat throughout all of this. So that's where the ankle mobility, calf mobility comes into play. So you go down to your lateral squat, you stay low, and then you push to the other side in that low lateral stance. And that's going to strengthen those inner knees and those inner hips. Then you get to the other side and you come up and you basically make a circle. So you're going to do the prescribed amount of reps in one direction before you switch to going the other direction. That way you equally work both sides. So key points here is getting to that full leg extension at the end, keeping your feet flat throughout the whole range of motion, and then maintaining good posture. Meaning I can read the words across your chest throughout the entire range of motion.